Hey, what's going on, guys? Doc Fugate back at you. Here today to celebrate the recent re-release of Richard Stanley's Hardware. If you've never seen this movie, then this is an urging for you to definitely see it. I wish I had a four, I wish I had a 4K player, and I wish I had the money to buy this, but I don't. So what I had to do was watch my Blu-ray copy of this again. But I mean, for those of you out there who are able to purchase things like this, then let me just give you a quick run through to tell you why you should definitely see this movie. Movie opens with a nomad wanderer who finds an old like T-1000 looking robot buried in the desert and scavenges it out and sells it to our two main protagonists, who then take a cab ride from Lemmy Kilmister himself, who plays, believe it or not, the Ace of Spades by Motorhead. If you're uninitiated, that's his band. So that pretty much sets the tone for the kind of movie that this is. It's pretty unprecedented in how cheesy but kind of profound it is, like in everything, in the music, special effects, the acting, the writing. Like everything about this screams B movie, but at the same time there's like so much fucking behind it. I mean, watching it again, there really was nothing that I could think, because I mean, I've loved it from the first time I watched it like 5 or 6 years ago. I was late to the party. I never saw it until the documentary about Richard Stanley came out, and which is a great documentary. It's about how yeah, yeah, yeah. It's about how that shitty Dr. Moreau movie with Marlon Brando and that little midget guy that's with him all the time that they made fun of in South Park. Fuck, what was that guy's name? Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna remember it. Was it Dr. Mephisto? If I'm wrong, just leave it down in the comments. Whatever, fuck it. But yeah, the documentary is about how that movie went to shit, and it's a pretty epic story. And that's what led me, because Richard Stanley was originally supposed to make The Island of Dr. Moreau, and that movie's just about, I don't know, it's a big clusterfuck with everybody. I can't do the story justice. You gotta see that movie. I think it's called Lost Souls. I don't know. Just Google Richard Stanley documentary and you'll figure it out. But watching that made me want to watch one of this guy's movies. So I looked it up and saw that he only had actually directed 2 movies. So I watched both of them, and this one I thought was far superior. The other one was called Dust Devil, and it was it was really good, but it wasn't as memorable as this one was. Yeah, it's aged unbelievably well. I mean, especially for a movie that's 28 years old and was about a dystopian future. I think that 1990 was probably just like the worst time for this to have come out. I mean, it was way too long after the original Terminator, and way too long before the resurgence of all the bad Terminator movies and Terminator ripoffs. It definitely should have fallen in that sweet spot, like where RoboCop and shit came out. Because I mean, the mid '80s after Terminator came out, that was a sweet selling point, and it would probably be a more memorable, less culty movie if it came out at that point. But I digress. Another reason this movie might not be so well known is William Hootkins' character, who probably put a lot of people off from this movie. And I looked it up recently, and I guess Harvey Weinstein, who produced this movie, I'm sure all of you know who Harvey Weinstein is. He tried to get this character taken out of the movie. William Hootkins, the fucking Porkins, the big fat guy from Star Wars. Harvey Weinstein tried getting this character taken out of the movie because he thought it was a pot shot at him, which is kind of terrifying, because I mean, he was convinced that this movie was making fun of him, and just listen to some of the shit the character says.
Spread those lips. That's it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's it, baby. Take that big dick. Yes. Take it all the way in. That's it. All the way in. Stir it around. Take him. Suck him dry.
Oh my god.
That's it, baby. You got him now. God, you're beautiful. Yeah, that's it, baby. Take that big dick. Take it in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Take him, baby. Squeeze that tube. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Take him, suck it dry. Up. That's my bitch. Yeah, squeeze it.
So yes, that is indeed Porkins from Star Wars in this movie, and Harvey Weinstein not only was suspicious but was convinced that this character was based on him, which is pretty terrifying if you think about it, because I'm gonna once again show you how terrifying this guy is, because if this gives you any kind of if this triggers you at all, maybe you shouldn't see this movie, because this dude's pretty fucking terrifying. This is a scene in the movie where he cold calls a female protagonist in the film, pretending to be her boyfriend, and well, I'll just let you listen for yourself.
Hello? Hello? This is Mo.
Who is this?
I told you, baby, this is Mo. Look, I want to come back. I'm ready to go again. I'm hard again just thinking about you, baby. I'm so hard I could cut diamonds, huh? What do you say we try it up the ass, huh? How about if I fuck you with a string of popcorn, baby, up your ass?
Who is this?
Then I pull it out real slow, pop by pop, huh? You think you'd like that? You think you're ready to try the Hershey Highway, huh? Fill you all the way, huh? What do you say, Jill?
Fuck yourself, asshole.
And just remember, folks, that was not me saying that. That was me trying to maybe warn you away from the movie if that bothered you. And props to, if maybe not shame on, the late, great William Hootkins, who apparently ad-libbed, like, all of those lines. And there's plenty more in that movie if you go and dig in and check it out. But it's just such a fucking ridiculous movie. It's a movie, like, as you can hear from that, it's just ridiculous. The violence is fucking outrageous, but I mean, it's not like gratuitous or unjustified. It's just difficult to explain. And like I said, if you have the money to go out and fucking spend on this movie about a Terminator style robot that comes back to life and fucking murders all these people in an apartment complex in like a dystopian future, then this is definitely the movie for you. I'm not going to keep you too long on this, because all I'm trying to do really is just give you a selling point for this, because this is a movie that definitely deserves more attention. So, like, if you're one of those people like me who thinks to themselves, Jesus, why was every movie after the first Matrix so shitty in that franchise? I mean, I like Terminator 2 a lot, but it doesn't have the same quality as the first one. Same as RoboCop 2. I love RoboCop 2, but it's not as, doesn't have that same charm as the original. That kind of low-budget, high-imagination, high-concept feeling. This movie has that in spades. It's not really a movie that gets too much attention, but it probably will get a decent amount of attention now, and I want to be another person to give it the attention that it deserves. Well, that's all I really got to say to sell you on this one, creeps. So, until next time, which I'm pretty sure is going to be a ride-along review, take it easy. This is Doc.